Hey everybody, Kelly Engineer here, and welcome to episode 14 of Ragnamod V. In between episodes, what I did was I made the Ritual of Living Evolution. This is not the Ritual of Living Evolution, this is the Leaden Soul. But I made it to get 300 onto my living chest plate. And then I spent most of my time in the mining dimension trying to fill up these common Tartaric gems in preparation for today. I'm going to need a lot of will for today. And then when I don't know when it happened, but I lost my chest plate. My living chest plate was gone, and now that I had 300 upgrade points on it, I was trying to get the Nocturnal and the Might upgrades upgraded. And yeah, I lost my chest plate. I don't know how. So that was the thing. I had to make a new living chest plate, and right now it has Tough Palms level 4 on it. And I also managed to get level 3 solar powered, healthy, and then strong legs level 1 before I made this. This is called a living armor training bracelet. What the training bracelet does is a really simple recipe. It's just nuggets, gold ingots, iron ingots, and a master or archmage blood orb. And after you make it, you can take it to an anvil with one of the upgrade tomes. And I'm not going to use this one because it's level 3 and I'm still going to need it. But go to an anvil, put in the training bracelet, the upgrade tome, and then you make the training bracelet for healthy. So like I said, I'm not going to use that up right now. But so long as the training bracelet is in your inventory, no other skills will level up on your living armor. So I have the Tough Palms training bracelet, and I've been over there trying to level it up and managed to get it to, yeah, I just got it to level 4. And yeah, so that's the thing. I'm just trying to retrain my living chest plate. What this is right here, this is the Leaden Soul ritual. And what it does is, right now I have nothing in it, but I have the item frame, and then you put some items in here. So, and if you go to the Master Ritual Stone and look at the uses for the, where is it? Yeah, the Penance Ritual. So the Penance Ritual, this is an item that needs to go in your item frame, and these are items that need to go into a chest. And then you can get a downgrade tome. So it may not seem like you want something called a downgrade tome, but I'm just going to make the level 1 Stormtrooper, and later on I'm actually going to make the level 4, because I don't have the ability to make these arrows right now. Actually, I do have the ability to make these arrows right now. Why don't I just make a level 5? Nah, regardless. So what you need to do is, so I'm going to make this bow one right now. Just put the bow right here, and then, oh, this is as good a look as any. So I have arrows, string, and iron ingots in here. When you have the Master Ritual Stone in your hand sitting on top of this, rush of energy flows through the ritual, and then down there, it just tells you, it gives you a brief description of what you actually need to do as if someone is talking to you, and then what the Leaden Soul ritual is going to do for you. So because I have this bow here, it recognizes that it's going to give me Stormtrooper, and I will have almost no accuracy with ranged weapons. I don't know if that applies to Tinkers, I'm assuming it doesn't, but with bows and arrows it definitely does affect it. But I just tried to activate it, and it didn't work. You have to shift on the Ritual Stone in order to get it to work, and that's because I have multiple versions of the ritual here. Where'd my shield go? So I'm going to try it again, and it is also not going to work. The reason why it's not going to work is because it wants 2 iron ingots. It cannot be in its stack. There we go. So now I have Stormtrooper level 1 on my chest plate. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to actually conduct this a second time. So since good a point as any to look at. So it doesn't take the bow, and all I have to do is just provide the stuff again and activate the ritual, and nothing is going to happen to me. The reason why nothing's going to happen is because I already have level 1 Stormtrooper. It will not stack if you try to conduct the ritual again. So what I'm going to do is give myself that stuff back. Tough Palms and Stormtrooper 1. I'm going to go back to this ritual over here and activate it again. Upgrade acquired. Stormtrooper level 1. And activate this ritual again. to see whether or not it stacks like the normal living tome upgrades do. So if you have multiple upgrades, if I had 2 strong legs level 1, I can combine it in an anvil to make strong legs level 2. That's not the case with the downgrade tomes. If you go over to an anvil and try to combine them, it doesn't work. So whatever the ritual gave you is the level that you are stuck with until you remove it and put it back again. So I don't really need these right now, and I'm going to put tough palms back on the armor. Here we go. And yeah, that is how the leaden soul works. Another thing that I wanted to add on, I'll take this bow back, is, here we go, put you here. So shield right here, diamond right here, activate the ritual, shift, upgrade acquired. So I now have crippled arm. Crippled arm means that I cannot put anything in my offhand anymore, or I can't use anything that's in my offhand. So yeah, you can put it there, but I would not be able to use it. Also, if you look at the living armor, you'll see that I have negative upgrade points now. So the negative upgrade points mean that I can actually take my healthy in here, healthy and solar powered, and I can apply both upgrades, even though a level 4 tough palms and then like level 3 healthy wouldn't be enough on a 200 living chestplate, 200 upgrade point living chestplate. Now I have minus 70 with all of these upgrades. The more downgrades you apply, the more negative upgrade points you get, allows you to put more things on. That's why if you look at the wiki and it says like level 10 tough palms is 320 upgrade points. Well, obviously I can't have more than 300 maximum upgrade points, so you have to apply a downgrade in order to have level 10 tough palms. And I hope that's a decent enough explanation for that. But what we're going to do in this episode is we are going to work with the demon crucibles. So I'm going to go prepare everything, and I'll be back with you once it's all set up. Alright, here we are. Everything has been set up, and this is a floating platform in the middle of everywhere, and that is actually purposeful, because if you F3G, then you show the chunk borders, and that this platform is exactly inside one chunk, and there is a reason for that. Because what we're doing right here with this demon crucible is when you throw a tartaric gem in here, what you're doing is you're populating this chunk with aura, with a will aura. So, if you put the demon crystallizer down, I'm going to put it down right here. It's where it makes the most sense, especially with, I have the ritual set up, the ritual of the faceted crystal. It's all set up and ready to go. The first thing I need is actually a crystal to form here. So since I have will, and I think this was like 937 when I put it in, now we got 924. It will fill up the aura with 100 will, and from there the demon crystallizer will start to form crystals because of the will that's in the aura of this chunk. So all I have to do is just play the waiting game until the demon crystallizer fills up, and keep supplying will to it, which is why I wanted to fill up these common tartaric gems. And yeah, I'm just going to play the waiting game until a crystal forms. that took no time at all. I hit my stop record button and the crystal immediately appeared. So this is just one shard of the crystal. You will actually get a whole bunch of other shards on the sides eventually. And now that that crystal has formed, we're going to look at the common tartaric gem again and see that it is at 820. So it took another 100 will and injected it into the aura of this chunk, and from that 100 will, another shard will form. So you have to wait for the other shards to form, and once I have a maximum crystal here, then I'll activate the ritual and show you what activating the ritual does. And instead of letting the crystal grow, I actually just broke it because there's one thing that I want to create. I want to create the will aura gauge. So I'm going to put the glass, yeah, here we go. And then with a common tartaric gem, put that in there, and it will start. It has to be a common or higher tartaric gem. And I will get a demon will aura gauge, a strange device that can measure the demon will in an aura. So, here we go. So you see that little green bar up at the top? That means that I am full of aura on this, in this chunk. And there's a little bit more up there. It's very, I'll zoom in post. But the very top one is the common will, the maximum amount of common will that you get just from killing mobs with your sentient sword. and the other is the other different types of wills that the mod offers. So you see that this is holding strong at 100. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and activate the ritual now. When you build this ritual, you'll see that it doesn't extend any further below here. But if you put these blocks directly on the ground, then you would actually have to break some blocks in order to actually go under here and activate the ritual. When you have the crystallizer on top, I can't activate the ritual, so you have to do it from the bottom, which is why I left myself that little walking gap. So a rush of energy flows through the ritual, and I just have to wait. Here we are. I got one more shard left on this, so that is awesome. Which means if I break this with my pickaxe, I will get 2 pieces of Demon Will, but I'm going to wait till this is maximum, because once this is maximum, it will take away the shards that are about to grow on the side, and put them right here with different forms of will. So all of the different types of will, which are corrosive, destructive, vengeful, and steadfast, I'm going to need those to move on, and I'm definitely going to need those because they are required in order to make the building blocks that I want to build, mainly these bricks. Yeah, steadfast will crystal. I'll get 16 steadfast stone out of them, and I can make the bricks to build the cathedral. So yeah, I'm just going to wait for this to completely populate, and now that the ritual has been activated, the second I get the 4 other shards that are about to grow here, they'll just immediately spread, and I can work on other things, such as building myself another crucible. The reason why I want to build myself another crucible is because I am going to, once I have will crystals for the other types of will, I can throw it into a crucible and inject the aura into that chunk as well. So I believe it goes here. Yep, there we go. Alright, one more demon crucible. So I have the demon crucible, just gonna set it down right here and play the waiting game. And one more thing, now that I have placed down this demon crucible, so if I hold shift and it says I have the 100 will in this chunk, I'm going to place down another common tartaric gem, and it is at 322. I'm going to place that in here, and you'll see that the will is still at 100. There can only be 100 maximum will inside the aura of a chunk. And look at this again, and it's only at 321. So it is siphoning the will to make more crystals, but very slowly rather than the 100 all at once. It was working in tandem with my other crucible. But you can never have more than 100 will in the aura of a chunk. So while I'm waiting for the crystal to grow, I figure I would go over the ritual for Gathering of the Forsaken Souls. So Gathering of the Forsaken Souls speeds up demon crystal growth for crystal clusters above the ritual by default. It does not generate will on its own and still requires the crystal clusters to have demon crystallizers below them. In order to do that, it utilizes a mechanic known as the uniqueness of mobs. The more different mobs die, the more efficient the crystal. Oh yeah, look at that. I just got the... Oh, I'm so glad I got that on camera. It does not itself generate demonic will aura though, so you need to supply it with either feeding back crystals or putting a tartaric gem with will into a demon crucible. This should eliminate the need for going out to farm demonic will unless you fail to supply mobs to feed it and or run out of will. So this is that's the main purpose of the mob farm. I want to supply as many unique mobs to the ritual as possible so I can speed up the growth of crystals. The more crystals I have, the more bricks I have. And obviously this project is going to require a lot of bricks. So that's most certainly what I want. And when I set up the mob farm a little later in the episode, that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that ritual right there with the faceted crystal ritual right next to it. But as you can see, I have Demon Will crystal clusters right here. And I'm glad that I do. I'm going to leave the main spire, and the second that I have another spire appear right next to this, the main one will stay pretty much always unless you physically break it. But once I have another spire, I'm going to come back to you because I want to go specifically to, what is this? The red one is Vengeful, yes? Yes. So I specifically want Vengeful. The second I have another spire on the Vengeful, I'll come back to you because there's a little trick I want to show you with the Tartaric gems. that you can do with the different wills. Alright, here we go. If you look at my aura gauge, you'll see that I have no more will left in this chunk, but I do have some more crystal clusters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this common Tartaric gem, has 427 will in it, and I'm going to click right here. No, that's not the one I want. Right here. You see that I just got a cluster off of it. Here we go, steadfast will cluster. Still got 427. And you do the same thing with a full. I'm going to go over here. Right here. And I just got the destructive will. Now if I try to do that again, you'll see it is not going to take the main spire. It will only take one of the shards. It'll do the same thing over here. So I have will clusters right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert them. Oh shoot. How much will did that just take? Enough. It took immediately the 100 will, and I have 100 will, 93, 91. It is taking the will to form more crystals. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to take, here we go, this Vengeful, and put it in here. And you see that it immediately took it, and I now have 49 will in this chunk, or in the aura of this chunk for Vengeful. And it is decreasing. It's now 48. Should have, yeah, there we go, 47. So it is taking the will, and it is attempting to form more crystals. If I make another demon crystallizer, because of the amount of vengeful will I have in this chunk, it will form vengeful will crystal clusters on top of it, and I will just have a easier way to make it, and I'll get more faster rather than having to rely on this ritual. However, now that I have here we go, a destructive will crystal, one of the recipes for it is the ritual dismantler. I'm going to need one more destructive will catalyst, and in order to make the greater Tartaric gem, which I've been sitting on for a while, I do need a demon will and a demonic slate, common Tartaric gem, weak blood shard, and supply it with some will. So that is easy, and I'm going to do that right now. Alright, here's the recipe. My demonic slate, common Tartaric gem, weak blood shard, demon will crystal. Drop that in there. It's going to start filling up. Now, a note about this, it has to be completely full. So if you had like the 924 will quality in this Tartaric gem when you tried to make this recipe, it would not work. It needs to be a full Tartaric gem. But now I have a greater Tartaric gem, and that quest is now complete. Let it complete for a second. Oh, I had to go into the mining dimension to fill up my Tartaric gem. It didn't work the first time. So let's clear some of this stuff out. Here we go. Greater Tartaric gem completed. Now that I have some will in here, I can take this out, and I'm going to drop in this 924 just so I can keep some crystals growing, because I do want more before I continue with the next step. Alright, so the sun is starting to set, finally. It's been quite a long day. What I've done here is I have placed a mob spawner, and I have made it resturbed. Due to my adventures in the nether yesterday, I had quite a few drops of evil, so I turned a spawner in the mining dimension into a resturbed spawner. Got it with a cardboard box from Mechanism. Oh, and the way that I got that is I made a sawmill over here. And sawmill's super easy to make, but it was turning wood into oak planks and then giving me sawdust. 4 sawdust will make a cardboard box. So I picked that up, and then in this chunk, what I have done is I placed another Demon Crucible and put Corrosive Will in it. I'm just going to run a little experiment because I'm honestly not sure if this will even work. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see whether or not the mobs that spawn in this chunk because of the Corrosive Will, and Corrosive Will is the only thing in this chunk, I'm trying to see whether or not I can fill up a Tartaric gem with Corrosive Will when killing stuff with the Sentient Sword. So yep, that is the game plan for right now. We're just going to play the waiting game for a mob to spawn, and let's see what it gets us. Alright, there's our first mob. So the reason I am doing this... Oh, thank goodness. Alright, the reason I am doing this... Nope, I got raw will. Dang it. Well, the reason that I was doing this is because... there used to be a recipe to take one of the will crystals and combine it with a Tartaric gem in the in a crafting grid, but that recipe has been removed. And so I am not sure anymore how to actually get the different tartaric gems with different will inside it. But yeah, the recipe used to be... Yeah, the recipe used to be just a gem and then will crystal, an empty gem, and the will crystal, and it would just show up here as a tartaric gem of that will type. That is no longer a thing. Oh, look at that. Oh. Yeah, I gotta be careful of the resturbed. Yeah, that is just plumb unfortunate. Oh, well. Well, it was a fun experiment. I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna get rid of this resturbed spawner and move on with our lives. Alright, you are looking at my Saturday. The entirety of my Saturday. I filled up all of these greater tartaric gems and just went to sleep because yeah, this was the entirety of my Saturday. I also figured out why I can't make the tartaric gems of each different will, because I was looking at the recipes for what bricks I want to use, and right here you can only combine the will crystal with grand tartaric gems, the highest quality tartaric gem. And so yeah, that's a thing. But now that I have these 4 built up, I am going to throw this in here. There we go. And just let the will populate into my into this chunk and let all the crystals grow. Here we go. I have maxed out each one of the different crystals on each side, and I'm ready to take them for my own. So I was going to take my tartaric gem and grab these crystal clusters. So remember, you have to have more than 1,024 will inside your tartaric gems. And I don't think I mentioned this before, but that is shared across all gems. There we go. Alright, I think I just completed all of the will quests as well. Yeah, look at that. Completed all of the will quests except for the demon will crystals. But whatever, we can get that in due time. So here is where the mob farm is going to be. So this area, and I'll mark it out, this area is a 23 by 23 square, and on the inside I have a 16 by 16 area. So it's important for this mob farm to work that the 16 by 16 area be in one chunk. So I've laid this out so that there is a 2-block gap between the walls of my cathedral, and then there's going to be a 3-block gap here. And yeah, so what I'm going to do is right here, I'm going to place down a ritual, and the ritual that we're going to be doing first is Gathering of the Forsaken Souls. What Gathering of the Forsaken Souls is going to do for us is it's going to damage any mob that's inside the area, and as it kills the mob that it's damaging, it decreases the amount of time it takes for one of the crystals to grow. So it is it's kind of like the Well of Suffering, only the Well of Suffering, whatever gets killed becomes blood and goes into an altar, and it needs an altar to work. You don't really need anything to work, it's just going to kill those mobs and then decrease however long it takes for a crystal to grow. Alright, so I am setting up the Ritual of Forsaken Souls right now, and what I have done is I have lined it up with the ground of the cathedral. So this is the outer wall, and I raised it up just because I can, but I am standing on what is going to be the floor of the cathedral. So these ritual stones also line up with the floor. Another thing that I am going to do is place down a piece of stone, remove that for a second, put down another master ritual stone, get rid of that, and what the heck, yep, we'll complete that again, and go to the next ritual, which is, where are you? Fractured Crystal. And I'm going to set up Fractured Crystal. So it's going to look a little something like this. I have, in my 16 by 16, made this is going to be a little pathway, so a walkable floor of the cathedral, and all of this blank area is going to be dark glass from Extra Utility, so I can actually see into the farm. The farm is going to move downwards, and there's going to be another farm upwards. The reason for the upward farm will be revealed a little bit later, but for now, this is what we're going to be using to generate all of our crystals. Another thing that I should point out is it was purposeful that this right here is a 23 block area. Right here is a 25 block area. And right here is another 23 block area. The main entrance to the cathedral is going to be in the 25 block one. And I used a odd number here because the other tower is going to have another mob farm in it for the purpose of gaining blood. And it's going to be the Well of Suffering ritual and another mob farm, just so I can get some blood. So that tower over there is going to have it. I constructed this one first because it's imperative for this plan to work that I be using a one chunk area. So that's why you build this area first. If you built the mob farm for the Well of Suffering and then you moved it over here, there is a chance that you're not going to be able to line up properly to use the one chunk area. So just be mindful of that if you're going to replicate this process. It happened again. I lost my chest plate. I was just in the mining dimension. I don't have it anymore. Son of a gun. And it's nighttime too. I do not know why this is happening. What? Okay. Is it my home command? Oh yeah, look down there at the bottom. /home home. /home altar doesn't have the chest plate there. Home fortress has the chest plate. Home home doesn't. I don't have my chest plate. It's dropping it when I run the home command. Why? Where'd you go? There it is. Or there it was. You just saw it, right? It was just there. And I still have night vision as if it was equipped. Did I just lose another chest plate? Alright, apparently when it zoomed back to me because of my magnet, it just went through the portal and I have it back. But still, that is very weird. Let's go over here and test it out. I wonder if it's cross-dimension. Home? Alright, home altar is in this dimension. I don't have it. It's in my hand? /home. Home. Okay, see, the icon down there has it there with me. And I'm still wearing it. /home altar does not. Home fortress. Home home does not. Alright, home altar has it this time. And I have it. /home home does not. And I have it in my hand. So /home moved it to my hand, and I think when I went cross-dimension, it dropped it from my hand where I was standing when I ran the home command. That is a very weird glitch. Also with the fact that... let's put you back on. Okay, night vision just activated. Remove my helmet. I still have night vision forever. I didn't lose it. Well, alright then. That's an easy way around things gaining levels. So the living armor will not gain levels on any of the skills unless you're wearing all 4 pieces. So I have the night vision, and it doesn't do the glitch in and out whenever there's an appropriate light level like it was before. So one good glitch, one bad glitch, I guess. But I'm moving on, and I just made some black dye so I could make thickened dark thickened glass. There we go. I already made a little bit earlier, and if you don't know how to make the thickened glass, it's really easy to make. It's just sandy glass, which is any sort of glass and sand, and any sort of sand for that matter. It does silt and soul sand as well. But yeah, you get sandy glass, throw it in a furnace, and you get hardened glass. So now that I have that, I'll go over here and replace my glass. Alright, so I'm just testing some colorways right now, and this is the raw stone brick. I've made a little bit of stone from every single type of will, and yeah, that recipe is really easy. All you need to do is just, right here, any type of stone with some will crystals right there, and it'll make you 16 of them. And you can make all of the different brick variants or column variants based on all of that. Keep in mind this is not something that can be chiseled. So you can't use a chisel to get all of these variants. Once you make like the vengeful stone bricks, the vengeful stone bricks will not go back into standard vengeful stone. So yeah, just be careful with what you're making, and especially if you're at the point where I'm at, where I don't have a lot of crystals. And also, I'm not going to use any more of these crystals because I actually need to make crystal clusters. And once you have the crystal clusters, which are right here, I can set them on the ground. And when you set them on the ground, they'll adapt to whatever type of will is inside the chunk, and they will grow all on their own. You don't need the crucible or the crystallizer anymore. The crystallizer is for forming the crystals. But once you actually have the clusters, yeah, you can set them down, and they will respond to the will in the aura and grow from there. So I'm going to make those next. And the recipe for that is incredibly simple. All you need to do is just have the different type of will crystals, put in a greater or grand tartaric gem in there. It'll grow up and become the crystal cluster that you need. I'm going to make 2 of each type. And, oh, look at that. I'm actually gaining will in this tartaric gem right now. And it's more than likely because of this. And I'm just going to have to be careful with that. Yep, 4096. So whenever you have a tartaric gem here, it's going to suck the will. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to suck the will out of the aura. And yeah, that is just how you... It's an easier way to fill up your tartaric gems. I know it's loud right now, but I just activated the... I just activated the souls. Oh, that was beautiful. But I just activated the ritual, and you can see that everything is dying. Everything is dying. So this mob farm is technically a success. I have yet to put a drop of evil down there to... Really? Alright. I've yet to put a drop of evil down there. And, you know, that's perfectly fine. It's pretty awesome as it is. But now that I have activated that, what should be happening in this chunk is I'm increasing the level of ticks, or decreasing the number of ticks it takes for a crystal cluster to facet itself off and grow another part of the crystal. So I'm going to back off a little bit, let more stuff spawn, because this thing is always going to be going, and until I deactivate it, which I'm probably going to have to. Where's my divination sigil? This thing is taking from my blood network every time it ticks, or at least it should be. It doesn't look like it is right now. Huh. I wonder if it's whenever a mob dies. Let's check that out. Yep, it's every time a mob dies, I lose life points. So, that's fine. I'm perfectly happy with that. But I have will in here, and these other crucibles are going to be for the other specks of will. I have 3 shards left of each thing, and I should honestly I could quite frankly put them in here already. And you know what? Actually, I am going to do that. I'm going to do that with each crystal. I have removed the ritual that breaks the crystals, because I don't really need that right now. So that one is not going to be activated, but let's grab you, drop you in there, grab you, drop you in. You dropped in, and you dropped in. So, yep, look at that. I have all 5 types of will ready to go, and as mobs start to spawn, and like I said, I should get that drop of evil so they are spawning regardless of my placement. Where are my drops of evil? Right there. So I'm going to make this so that regardless of how close I am, this thing is going to be going. So drop you there. There we go. Look at that. Mobs are always going to be spawning now. Well, this is a problem. I completely forgot about the fact that in sunlight, the cursed earth will start to burn. And I'm also not sure if the abyssal mobs will... So when some of the abyssal mobs, when their base form dies and they actually become the demon whatever animal it is, they will light stuff on fire. I don't know whether or not the fire will... Yeah, the fire doesn't stop on cursed earth until until it is regular dirt again. So yeah, that is a bit of a pickle. Alright, maybe it's not going to be back to the drawing board because you see I got a chicken on fire right now and it is not actually spreading. The second it moves, the fire goes with it, but it's going to stop right here. So it's not actually spreading. I also have this bucket of milk here. You see that this fire is not actually providing any sort of light, unlike normal fire, which most certainly provides light. Also, I'm not sure if real fire is going to spread on this thing too. It does not look it. It looks like it's just daylight that causes the issue. So yeah, with the abyssal mobs, I think I'm going to be fine in my farm in the main world. All right, here we are. We have the mob farm all set up, and I put some vector plates in there. Let's get to an area where why is my because it's daytime. All right, well there are vector plates in there, and the vector plates are moving all of the mobs right there into the center, into a 7x7 area directly below my leaden soul ritual. The reason for that is I didn't have vector plates in there before, and vector plates just take slime, sugar, and some stone. It's or not stone. Yeah, some stone and iron, and yeah, they're really simple to make, so I put them all in there. I had all of the items just in every which corner, and I'm going to make a trash can and another advanced item collector, and put it directly below the farm. I have walled it off with stone brick, and no one's going to see this part of it, so I think I'm going to leave this stone. But this cobblestone is eventually going to get replaced with more raw stone bricks, and I've intersted some small raw stone bricks in there as well, just for a little bit of contrast. Well, I'm going to put a trash can with an advanced item collector, like right here, to trash everything that's being dropped. This is not going to be the main mob farm where I'm going to get all of my loot bag and other drops. That is going to be a little bit higher in this tower. So yeah, I'm not worried about trashing them. But the way that this farm works, and I owe its design to Angel NC from a Reddit comment like 2 years ago. Well, I'm going to grab... Here we go. I'm going to grab 3 of each will. And in order to get this many to begin with, I actually had to crack these a little bit and then reform them using... So I had to go farm some more raw will in order to get them working in the altar. But the way that this works is all you have to do is drop the will into the crucibles here. And because I have both rituals running, the leaden soul and then the fractured crystal, it's actually making the crystals very easily right now. It only takes 15 will to do it. But Angel NC on Reddit from 2 years ago described this process very, very well. And I've just replicated it. Because the design that I had just wasn't working. And which is unfortunate, but whatever, you live and learn. And luckily there was a way that I could get this to work thanks to somebody else's hard work. So Angel NC, thank you very much. But as you can see, it's generating the crystals very quickly, and this advanced item collector is just throwing them right into these chests over here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's very, very simple. But yeah, with that, the mob farm is complete, and I'm ready to move on to the next portion, which is automating getting all of the crystals into the crucibles so that I can just have a constant supply of shards being made. And to do that, we need item nodes. So Blood Magic has these node items right here, and it's just like going to wirelessly transmit. Oh yeah, thank goodness for that too. I need to figure out a way to stop teleportation that is not RF Tools environmental controller. Yeah, I have Enderman teleporting everywhere. If a concussion creeper is in there, then it will teleport mobs up to the surface, and that is bad. I cannot have that. So yeah, I need to figure out a way to stop the teleportation. But I digress. These routing nodes, these will wirelessly transmit items, input and output, to wherever I want them to go. So I'm going to put an output node here, an input node on the crucibles, and automate all of the crystals going in there, So I essentially have infinite crystals. It's gonna be great. So the first thing that I am going to create is the node router, which that's weird. Oh, it has to be reinforced. I have imbued. Okay. Whew. Reinforced. Here we go. And just to make sure, imbued. Good. Alright. So, just replace this reinforced with the imbued, and there we go. Beautiful. There, now I have the node router. The next thing I need to make is a block of iron, imbued. There we go. And it's going to be the master routing node, the brains of this whole operation. And then I'm going to create 16 routing nodes. And the reason why I need to make 16 routing nodes is because the input and output routing nodes require a routing node in their recipe. So this is quite a bit of redstone and glowstone I'm using, especially since I don't have my dust sieving up over there. Need to set that up soon. But yeah, I'm going to make 16 routing nodes, and then the input and output is just a difference between using the same recipe, but it's a gold ingot or an iron ingot instead of the glass and stone. Alright, we are ready to go with the item routing nodes. So I have my output nodes, my input nodes, and this node router right now. So I'm going to put the input nodes in here. It's a little counterintuitive. So the input nodes are what you use to input items into your network. So yeah, be careful. Don't put the output in there because it's not outputting the item so that it can input there. It's inputting to the network and then outputting from the network. But yeah, I have my input routing node right here, and I'm going to place my output routing node right there. That was weird. So I'm going to take my output routing node, shift right click, it says setting node location, and go up here to my input. And you'll see that it just linked a node to the master, and yep, that white line means that they are linked. So another thing that I'm going to have to do is, oh yeah, be careful. Don't open an inventory with your node router equipped because everything gets wonky. Yeah, as I found out the hard way, everything started going every which way. So I'm going to take this piece of corrosive will, put this right here, input to the west, 1. And then do the same thing over here. Corrosive will, input down, boom. And then, with my routing node, once again, shift right click, and link it to the master. And you see that my corrosive will just started going in there. So I have 62 in here right now, a little less than a stack. And honestly, I may have done this wrong. There's not the documentation in the Sanguine Scientium doesn't explain this very well, but I thought that setting this to 1 meant that I was only allowing 1 to go in at a time, and apparently that is wrong. So I guess I have to have a filter in here first. Let's see, ghost item 1. Let's save that. Take the item out. Nope, it took in 32. Weird. But in any case, I have items going in, and it's very quickly making me more crystals than I could possibly have anything to do with. So that's awesome. I already have over a stack of it, as well as the stack that's in there right now. So I'm going to do the same thing over here with my destructive will. Put you back. So, once again, input into the network, input node. Output routing node, and I'm going to link to here. Yeah, see, I just opened an inventory and like my living chest plate just populated into there for some odd reason. I don't know why. So yeah, that was my mistake. Things do get super wonky, and I'm not sure what's on here that's causing the living chest plate to act like this. I can't use my home command anymore. I'm losing it every time. But yeah, I have a the output routing node. So I'm going to link this node to the master, and hopefully with any luck, there we go. Look at that. All right. So I have will going in there. I'm going to do the same thing with all of these. I just took all of it, but soon enough I'm going to have more than enough will. There we go. Look at that. So it looks a little crazy, but I have every single input node attached to the master and every output node attached to the input. And yeah, it's working a treat. So I did take note that whenever I first made the connection, it tried to prioritize the thing that I had the most of. So every single time it tried putting the destructive will in here, and in here, and in here, and I just had to take it out until the proper will populated. I don't think I'm going to have to worry about it anymore because it will always be supplying the proper will. And wow, I already have 131? This is amazing. Yeah, I'm going to be ready for next episode. But I am going to end out this episode here. I think I'm at like the 40-minute mark. And in between episodes, I'm just going to AFK. How's my blood network doing? Pretty well. But next episode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a similar mob farm. It's going to be both manual and automatic over here. And when I say over here, I mean I'm going to take down the altar and actually make it fit within the bounds that it's supposed to. So, and I'm going to move over here, my incense altar, right to the entrance, right about here. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do in between episodes. Just a lot of moving around and repopulating my blood network, and I almost have 10 million, so that's awesome. And let all of this populate up. But I am Kelly Engineering, and I hope that you did enjoy this episode. It was a long one, and even longer for me because I had to... Once again, because it's blood magic, sit around for quite a while. Oh, wow. Is it not actually breaking these right now? Oh. Yeah, I have the vengeful stuff. It's not breaking the stuff that's back here. That is unfortunate. I'm going to have to figure out a way to fix that as well. But, yeah, I am Kelly Engineering. I hope that you did enjoy this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.